you for sunshine, thank you for rain, thank you for joy, thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Lord, I thank you for sunshine, thank you for rain, thank you for joy, thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Lord, I thank you for sunshine, thank you for rain,
know everybody I go like we, still we irate. Cause me no love likes, me no dance all style. I know everybody I go like, still me irate. Cause we no love likes, no. So every time I rise, we do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Make them know success don't come overnight. No make them know a substance over hype. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Enough of them love likes, that's alright. Sit down on a post and a tweet all night. Sit them on social media type. While like say them they a studio a vice. Oh me never put them up on no flight. And me never see them a live no tour life. You miss someone now you have so much likes. I'm always still a lead for iTunes. Simple mean we not ready yet. If we put the music first, that's all. While we there on a bar and a hype. Free work, dance all. So when you see me, yes, I see I. And every tune when me ever write. And every show where we headline. No, we not do it for the likes, but we tell them we do it for the love. We not do it for the likes. Wa-da-da-dee-da-da-dee. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Never tell you if you bust a shot and quench them. Instead we tell them sell it gun and buy a yen yen. Cause we do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. On to them, sing. Them not like we, but we not response. Fly out and make them love we from a distance. Come home for 2 weeks vacation. Enough of them still stuck in the quicksand. Enough to hear us say them are the big man. In a Jamaica, and them have the hit song. A gentleman, me hear a play a Finland. Me never hear them playing a Pakistan. That simple mean we not ready yet. That one like a you own dance all. While we there on a war on a hype. No take a control dance all. Give me a beat and a mic. Ready for the studio device. But when me put that song up on my timeline. No, me not do it for the likes. But me tell them we do it for the love. We not do it for the likes. Jesus Christ, do it for the love. We not do it for the likes. Young into the beat, everybody move your feet. And you know fit it, and me mommy know fit it. On to them. When we mix a tune and drop it like a bomb. Me no wanna waste guy a critique me song. Me no wanna media guy interpret me wrong. So make me give me credits in a dancehall fashion first. Big up Kalanji and the one Capleton. The Wild Apache and the one Ninja Man. Then big up the Killer and the one Beanie Man. King Yellow Man, Buru Buju Bantan. Early B, naturally Simadidan. Me and Jamaica Lim sister Diamond. And none of them no bad like Marianne. Ladies are you are his big man. Big up Lady Jika, you are the La Vegan. Big up Dirts Man and even brother Papa San. Big up Gary Minor, you don't know what you got done. Big up Kaneko, you are the tall Lakatan. Steal it, cleave it, Tony and Dave Kelly. Happy digital general kingdom. Exterminate and slay and rabbit. Stephen McGregor and Carly up.
أصبحنا وأصبح الملك لله والحمد لله لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير رب أسألك خير ما في هذا اليوم وخير ما بعده وأعوذ بك من شر ما في هذا اليوم وشر ما بعده رب أعوذ بك من الكسل وسوء
Dear Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for waking me up. Thank you for every heartbeat and every breath. Help me to love you more this week and to love others. Help me to trust you and your plan for my life and not worry about tomorrow, for you hold it in your mighty hands. In Jesus' name, amen.
जय नंद लाला जय गोपाला
जय नंद लाला जय गोपाला
श्री राधे गोविंद मन भजले हरि का प्यार
Good morning, and welcome down to the Livewire. I hope everybody is having a wonderful morning. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. All my loyal viewers, all the persons who tune in on the various platforms. Thank you guys for being with me here. Yet another morning as, we connect the Livewire, and I've been receiving some advice in relation to how I should modify the program to make it better. And I thank all those persons who have been sharing those suggestions with me. Special good morning to Mr. Ragobir, Carla Thomas, Dr. Nandalal, Tracy Martindale. Tracy, morning to you. I hope everything is going well for you up there in 𝒏𝒐𝒕𝒅. I hope you're supposed to be at work yet, but at least you should be on your way. Morning to you and the family up there in 𝒏𝒐𝒕𝒅. Morning to all the my friends up there in 𝒏𝒐𝒕𝒅, Delroy, Tiziana, Lyra, Earing Ward, Mr. Anthony Murray, Beverly, commonly known as Bev. Who am I forgetting by? Diana Martindale, good morning to you. Ario, all the persons down there at the RDC in Region 7. Morning to you guys. As you know, Heritage is heading up that way this year. So the Heritage Village is in Batavia, Region 7. So that is something for you guys to look forward to up there. Geeton Ryan, Keith Adams, morning. Rowena Lal, morning. These guys always tuned in. Sherwin Siram, Vince Henry, morning to you, brother. Jamila, Rennie Bipat Pasad, morning to you. Nirmala, morning. Lance Henry, Gil Eon, Zaza Ali, morning to all you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And I'll ask for those guys already tuned in here, if you could just share the live on your page and the groups that you're in so that persons can tune in and be part of this live wire. Now, before we jump into serious matters, I wanted to share some stuff with you guys. Pam Singh, she usually watches the program, and Pam would have shared, well, she usually listens to the program in the morning hours when she's tending to her garden. So she'd usually comment, and she sent me some photos to show me the garden that she's been working on. So this is Pam Singh's garden, and I'd like persons as well to get involved in planting your own food. It cuts down on costs a little bit at the market, and you know exactly what is being put in to what you're eating. So Pam has some seasoning pepper. She got some hot pepper and a lot of things growing in that yard there. Bhaji, Balanje, chili pepper, Karaila, same. So Pam's garden is looking well. So keep up the good work, Pam. Keep the garden going, and take care of yourself, you making sure that you cut costs, you don't worry about too much fertilizing your food, and it's always good to have a little kitchen garden where you could go and pick a few things, not necessarily having to run to the market every time you're trying to cook a meal or get some seasoning and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's Pam Singh's garden, and She has continued to join us every morning here on the Livewire, and we appreciate persons like Pam being on the live every morning, early in the morning. So before I get into current affairs, something that slipped me. So I plan to address it this morning. Now, I don't want people to feel I have a personal vendetta against Miss Coretta McDonald. But again, some of the nonsense that they encourage, I can't fathom. So this is not her last program, but a few programs back, a caller called in, and in my view, shared some racist sentiments because his opinion couldn't be backed up by any evidence. And clearly it is wrong. So just let me give you an idea of what I'm talking about here. How Miss Coretta McDonald is encouraging the division in this country. So listen to this.
Good evening, caller. You're here with us.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yes. You see, black people has history, but the Indians don't have. You know this?
All
The
right.
Indians don't have any history in Guyana. And wherever there is, they always like to have the rulers and do a lot of wicked things. Look in India, women are being raped, and they doesn't care about that.
Mm-hmm.
So our history is stuck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's frightening, eh? It's frightening to some of them.
Yes, it is. We got to come out and stand up.
Yes, I agree
Stand
with
up
you.
for
Only thing that people need to come out and stand up for is against foolishness like that. That people like Coretta McDonald allowed to continue to be perpetuated on social media platforms and in different quarters. How could somebody who is a trained teacher, I think she's the general secretary of the teachers union or some high position in there. You understand? How could somebody like Coretta McDonald sit and allow the caller to continue with his argument, knowing fully well that he's incorrect? As a teacher teaching social studies, you learn about the history, and at least at the primary level, because when you get to secondary school, you actually got history classes and that kind of thing. So at the primary level, you learn about slaves, you learn about indentured laborers, you even learn about some of the Chinese who came here to work in some quarters. So how could Coretta McDonald allow a caller to speak in relation to the history of Indo-Guyanese and there being none, that being non-existent, to fly in her program? That is something that she should have checked. You understand? That is something that she should have checked, and not check as in check whether it's valid or not. The smallest Guyanese child would know that. The contribution of Indo-Guyanese, Afro-Guyanese, and other races, especially the indigenous Guyanese, to this country and it moving forward. So how could Coretta McDonald sit there and it's scary, the point about rape, right? And I want persons to be clear. I'm not saying Afro-Guyanese don't have history. I'm saying you cannot cancel out the Indo-Guyanese history and their contributions in relation to Guyana moving forward. You understand? You cannot do that. So the caller spoke about rape in India. The caller ever heard about genocide in Africa? And the things that would have occurred during those periods there? It's a sad situation. I don't know if he thinks during the process of genocide, nobody ain't getting raped or we just killing everybody and done. But that is some of the things I would like people like Coretta McDonald, when persons like that call on their program, right? When people like that call on your program and start talking nonsense, and I encourage people to call here on this program. But if I'm sitting here on this live and I've heard persons, just give me a second, Vishal, I'll call back in about 5 minutes. And I hear persons talking about or sharing foolishness on my program, I definitely would let them know, right? We got a caller coming in. Hi, morning, Vishal.
Good morning, sir.
Not bad. What's up?
I just joined your program, and I was listening to your response to a caller. I don't know if you could recollect, a few months ago, they had the APNU AFC, or the APNU would have held a meeting in Buxton, where a young lady came on the podium, and she would have uttered some very inaccurate facts according to her, when she made some derogatory statements about Indians and also India.
Vishal, just let me stop you there for a second, champ. I hear you say just now, a young lady. That was a whole tiger that been on that platform. Don't do that.
Well, I don't want to be public because I live in Boston and I know this individual. I know her. Okay?
Yeah.
But I don't know her like we would exchange views or have any discourse or anything, but I know the individual. I think each and every ethnic group that forms the fabric of Guyanese society in their respective contribution would have done this country well.
Yeah, definitely.
What about you?
I agree.
What do you think about that?
I agree.
Right? Because if you go back into history, let's say before 1838, before slavery abolished, the British were already contemplating on importing Indian indentured laborers from India, because for them, slavery had became very expensive because of the rebellion and the many issues they would have encountered during slavery. And remember, most of the European powers were heading into or were about to abolish slavery, if you understand what I mean. Because British abolished slavery in 1838, right? Or 1834. Forget the year. You can remind me of that.
I just like you.
Good, right? But when that young lady made that statement, let's look at India today. India is almost, let's say, almost 5 trillion US in GDP. Africa, it's about just over 3 or just under 3 trillion US. And I'm not saying that is a reason because of the African actions themselves.
Right.
But that is a reason because of European colonization. That is a reason of European imperialistic and also the European version of good governance, right? Which hasn't transcended or deliver the result that would have catapulted those nations to prosperity after independence. If you look at the former French colonies in Africa, Mali, Central African Republic, Burkina Faso, Niger, Imagine those countries' reserve has to be stored in the French central bank.
Yeah.
And the money is being loaned to them.
Yeah.
And they have to pay interest on that money.
Very
you
true.
know what amazes me?
Very true.
When
Very
you hear
true.
the sentiment that emanates from people in Guyana who say they're representing black interests, but these same people, you would hear them saying, Joe Biden and the United States, and they have to consult the diplomatic community. My brother, these people is more mental slaves than me and you, brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rickford March sick in the white man. Sorry to say this, sorry to mention this name. Rickford March sick in his oppressor's kitchen, denigrating his own country. Who is in more mental slavery?
Yep.
David Ames, as a renowned professor at the University of Arizona, where does Arizona locate?
Lovely point. Lovely point. They ain't interested in building Guyana.
Now, let us even go further. America, it has a strong amalgamation of different races or different ethnicity, which they would refer to it as a melting pot. But that is not a reality of America itself. If America got 300 and something million people, maybe about 70 million, which include Black American or African American, in that number. Because as of today, I think they have just over 45 million African Americans. Right? And then you have another strong minority of other groups, which Hispanic constitute a large portion of that minority. Right? But America is still a white nation. Most of the senators are white. Most of the congressmen and women are white. Isn't that so, sir?
Yeah. The majority.
So when you come, I don't know if these people mental faculty is intact, like me and you. But I think they really need a psychiatric evaluation.
They're fixing the hospital there by the bridge in Borbase. We gonna send all them there, man.
Right? When you talk about, now listen to this. It's America and France that economically suppressed Haiti after Haiti would have fought and won in the independence in 1804. You know what America and France did to Haiti? Because they claimed Haiti. Because they were ex-slaves or former slaves and they would have fought and won the war and declared themselves independent. The French and the Americans economically suppressed and sabotaged Haiti. I don't know if you would have read on those. You would have.
I did a little bit of reading on it. I did a little bit of reading on it.
Haiti could not repay that debt. The French army engulfed Port-au-Prince, the capital, the base Port-au-Prince, and demanded a reparation in 1821.
Wow.
In 1928, the United States occupied Haiti for a number of years because the Haitian government could not afford to repay that debt. So what moral authority does America have or has to come and lecture me and you about good governance or about racism? The PNC, they talk everybody's praise Barnum. Let me be real and straight here. Barnum may have had good intentions, but Barnum convicted himself, right? Or cast a veil on himself when the WikiLeaks revealed that Barnum was paid He asks 25,000 US a year to stay in government. That's him. And then when he asked for 10,000 US, the people gave him 5,000 US a month. Now, the APNU like to talk about how slaves and who sell out and who buy out or who buy in. But if you should measure that action in context, who sold them out so cheap?
This caller got a lot of information.
Who sold them out so cheap, brother? Chetty did not yield it to that because they're being Chetty a communist. And you know the narrative in Guyana among PNC and the accolades, they always try to demonize communism. But you know, communism played an instrumental role in liberating a lot of African countries from colonialism, my brother. You know, the Soviet Union was very instrumental in funding the ANC party in Africa, in South Africa. Why do you think the name Patrice Lumumba University in Moscow? You know what Patrice Lumumba? He was the first leader of the Congo. I don't know if you ever read the history of the Congo with King Leopold when he led an expedition under the pretext of humanitarianism. They had a demand for rubber in the late 1800s. And so King Leopold went in to the Belgian Congo, where they used to call it Belgian or the Congo Free State. Right? And you know what? King Leopold forced these people to work, and when they refused, he severed their limbs, whether they armed or their feet. At the end of King Leopold's tenure in Belgium, this is when the Belgian government took over the Belgians from him. Right? You know how many Africans died? 10 million Africans in the space of 20 years. And almost 20 million lost their limbs in the space of 20 years.
Yeah.
I want the PNC and the intellectuals to do this research.
They don't, brother. And I'm glad you called in and shared some of these points that you raised. They don't, and they forget certain things and they make wild statements.
So when Annette Ferguson, the return girl came to Tamiri, you know the house that she highlight, the house that she had in the camera.
Why she could say homeowner?
Yeah, let me tell you, the house wasn't built by the coalition government, sir. I'm living in Tamiri now, and I wouldn't lie on that right here. That house wasn't built by the coalition. Let me tell you how many houses were built in after the coalition assumed office. In fact, they didn't even build the house for the people. The people had to put the money with the money where they give them. It's fact. Right? It is 3 houses or 4 houses. That's why I want to come to Tamiri, brother. Come and let me take you around it, give you a walk through.
Hopefully I'll get to do that in the new week.
And once the president come in, he could win a lot of hearts in this area. I have a different way of executing certain political objectives, you know. I'm not a politician. But I don't believe that although somebody may not support or embrace our principle or objective, we must shun them. Give them support. Change their heart. Change the thinking. You know what I mean? This is just my concept of reality, right? But I'm saying, when Annette Ferguson and Simona Brooms and all of these people find time to concoct, I would use the word concoct, their craft, they must come with facts, not facts according to them.
Right. Vishal, thank you for coming through this morning and sharing with the viewers. No, man, it's good information, and if you check the comments, the people, they're glad to hear from you, and you know, right? You're a wealth of knowledge.
Before, when I was 13 years old, I went to spend a holiday at my at my family's place in Prospect, and those are Afro-Guyanese. Okay? And me and my cousins, we were playing war break in the yard. And my uncle said, "Ma, y'all keeping a lot of knives. Y'all come up pick up a book. Each one of y'all pick up a book and read." Unfortunately, I pick up a book by the name of Egyptology.
Wow.
And from that day, my whole concept of reality and the way how I would view a white man from that day, it changed, brother. Me, you is one. We got the same DNA. So my name is 𝒊𝒏𝒊𝒈𝒆𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊 We are one people. Indian and black, we are black. India got 60 million black people living there. Do the research. Enjoy the research.
All right, thank you for coming through. So that's one of the callers, another viewer that tunes in every day, and he has some very salient points which he shared there. Morning to Tanya Mahabir. See you on the live after a little while. Glad that you're here. Especially morning to Miss Asha Wallace as well, doing her thing in the South Georgetown area. Right? So thanks, Vishal, for coming through. And again, I reiterate, people like Coretta McDonald have a duty as elected officials to not encourage that foolishness that Carla came in our program with. Right? But let's move along. We ain't gonna lament over spilled milk, spoiled milk anyway. So yesterday, I think I mentioned Aubrey Norton is in the States meeting with the diaspora. And this is another thing that I find so funny. Now, I want to share another clip with you guys. I want you all to listen to what the lady's saying, and also I want you to look around the room, right? You look around the room and see who are the people who are there. So in the diaspora, just like in Guyana, you see like a one-track mind or a one part of the party. So there's nobody in the diaspora from various descents, Guyanese, Indo, Amerindian, Portuguese, Chinese, Guyanese, to come to these meetings. Two, the lacking in youth. Now, let me be clear. You need older folks for their experience and guidance. But at some point, you need somebody young to take up the mantle and continue the fight or continue whatever is being done. Let's look at the population of the meeting and let's listen to the statements of this lady here in the diaspora, this Guyanese in the diaspora, speaking to opposition leader Aubrey Norton at I guess, I want to call it a town hall meeting, at a gathering in I think it's Maryland.
Welcome to Maryland. My name is Jennifer Benjamin, and I have a couple of questions for you. Last year, I was in Guyana, and I visited some friends in Boston. I was horrified at the state of the roads in Boston, with some huge potholes. And I said to my friend, what's going on here? He said, well, girl, Mr. Patterson had promised to do these roads when the Avenue was in office. However, they decided to do across the street in Annandale first, and they told us they were then going to, after they do the Indo-Guyanese community, then they're going to do the Afro-Guyanese community. However, that never happened because of the no confidence vote. After that, they were unable to do a lot of projects. So
Stop. I can't even let it continue to play out. Just wait a minute. These people couldn't do roads in Buxton because of the no confidence vote? Man, no, man. What was this a hearing? If I remember, no confidence come late in the term of the AP and UAFC. I wasn't early 2 years, 3 years in and them kind of thing. Late in the term, they were almost done. What? No confidence vote? Stop them from doing roads? But they could have give out land, they could have give out house lot, and all sorts of nonsense. The Millies hide out land that was given out in Linden there. Y'all check the dates. It's after the no confidence motion. So, anyway, let me try again. Sorry, we can go to the end this time. Sorry, folks.
Welcome to Maryland. My name is 𝒍𝒆𝒂𝒊𝒎𝒆, and I have a couple of questions for you. Last year, I was in Guyana, and I visited some friends in Boston. I was horrified at the state of the roads in Boston. There's some huge potholes. And I said to my friend, what's going on here? He said, well, girl, Mr. Patterson had promised to do these roads when the Avenue was in office. However, they decided to do across the street in Annandale first, and they told us they were then going to, after they do the Indo-Guyanese community, then they're going to do the Afro-Guyanese community. However, that never happened because of the no confidence vote. After that, they were unable to do a lot of projects. So my friend said to me, when you leave me, go across the street and see what's going on in Annandale. So I did that, and I was shocked. Mr. Norton, I thought I was in a different country over there. The roads were like, so they were well done. The community was just totally different in the Afro-Guyanese. My question to you is, should you be our next president, will you fast track development in the Afro-Guyanese communities to come to par with the Indo-Guyanese community? During that trip also, I went up to 𝒂𝒉𝒂𝒂𝒊𝒎𝒆𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂, Skeldon, the whole current team. I thought, it's amazing the development in Region 6, I think that's all. And after 23 years of neglect in the Afro-Guyanese community, and they're continuing to do that with the fast track development in terms of infrastructure and everything else.
Sorry about that. First of all, I want to say, I think this lady might be high. I don't know. They probably was sharing Kool-Aid at this event. You understand? Kool-Aid laced with something. So, if you listen to her, in her initial remarks, she said, Minister Patterson at the time, I think I have another caller. Just hello, good morning. Yes.
Oh, is you taking the call?
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, but what I'm seeing, you see, intelligence people here. Because with the woman, you know, I don't like hearing people talk stupidness. People talking stupidness. All right.
I hear you, brother. I agree.
Yeah.
So first of all, you heard in her statement, the man is alleging that Minister Patterson said they're doing the roads in Annandale Forest, and then they're coming back to Buxton. This is the party that says they have the interests of Afro-Guyanese at heart. Why would they take such an action? They have the interests of Afro-Guyanese at heart. Why would Minister Patterson say such a thing? This lady speaks about 23 years of neglect. She was in Buxton last year, right? That's what she said. She visited last year. Nobody didn't take her to the Buxton Community Center ground that wasn't upgraded by the ALP and UAFC. Nobody didn't take her there. when the lights get put in on the ground, the basketball court get do up. Nobody take her to some of the streets in Buxton that were done. Nobody take her to Tapiri Hall in Buxton, which was not built by the PNC. What is wrong with this lady? And that's why I say sometimes I think some Guyanese who live in the diaspora, especially on the opposition side, they are so detached from the reality of what's happening on the ground here in Guyana, that they often have this, I don't even know what to call it, going on in the head in relation to development in Guyana and racial matters in Guyana. She spoke about Aubrey Norton fast-tracking the development of Afro communities if he's elected to be president. Ma'am, that will never happen. Ma'am, that will never happen. Aubrey Norton doesn't even know if he will be the next leader of the PNC. Aubrey Norton was a presidential or a ministerial advisor in the last government. So why, in the last government, as you put it, why didn't he fast-track the development of Afro-Guyanese? That is what I'm trying to find out. He was in the government. He used to meet with high-level government officials. Why didn't he fast-track the development in these Afro-Guyanese communities? And clearly, she had to go to Buxton and stay in Buxton alone. Since the Irfan Ali-led government has come into office, after the rigging attempt, after the Guyanese people had voted to say, hey, we give y'all a chance, we want y'all bring back the PPP. After they were voted into office, rapid development has been happening across this country. Or she only seen it in Region 6. She's only seeing development in Region 6. Look. Anyway, y'all see what to talk about in relation to the attendance? Who in that group in the next 10 years is going to be leading this country or come back to Guyana to do something impactful in the next 10 or 15 years? There's no youth voice there. Right? So you have a set of persons who most likely were in Guyana under the Burnham era, left this country, hear stories, the PVP this, the PVP that, the PVP this, the PVP that, and they run with it. And even at that meeting, Aubrey Norton is suggesting to those foreigners to call locals and encourage them with foolishness. Same nonsense Rickford Burke and Mark Benchcop doing, talking about unrest and lock down the place and break up the place. Why Rickford Burke don't come together and lead the protests to shut down Regent Street, as he said? Why Rickford Burke don't come and do that, or Mark Benchcop come and do foolishness in Guyana, see if he don't find himself in the lockup again? And mind you, if you remember, who pardoned Mark Benchcop for his treasonous behavior? A mob rushing into office of the president. You think Mark Benchcop could do it in the States? Get a mob and rush the White House? Breach the integrity of the White House perimeter? Y'all think Mark Benchcop could try that foolishness in the States and be on the road today to abuse the same government who pardoned him? I like persons to remember these things, you know. Mark Benchcop and a crew, even the man who organized the rally that day, said, we had no plan to rush in the Mark Community Wilderness. I tell you all the time at the Guyana Nursing School, when the nurses were protesting for something, raising stipend or something, Pops, Mark Benchcop show up. You know what the nurses tell him? Get away from here. We don't want you here. This is nothing in relation to your politics. You don't want your narrative here. You never look into the interests of those nurses, and you come into lead protest. You better get from here. Why Mark Benchcop don't try them foolishness in the States? All that stuff. Rickford Burke telling people to do in Guyana, why he don't get Guyanese to go and do that in the States where he living? Where he's living, that is where they should try that nonsense and see how the Americans would react to that foolishness that they're trying to put out there. They will not accept it. They will not accept it. And I maintain there are more roads done today of this date of the 30th of August from the 2nd of August 2020 to this date, the 30th of August 2023. There have been more roads done by this PVPC government than the coalition government. And probably you can even include the 28 years of Burnham and nonsense. More roads are done, more opportunity, more infrastructure. This lady just highlighted to us that the so-called champion of the Afro cause in Guyana decided that they will put Indo-Guyanese before Afro-Guyanese. And their main argument is that they're looking out for the interests of Afro-Guyanese. What have they done in Afro-Guyanese communities 2050 to 2020 that lady there could stand up and tell anybody about? What have they done? Linden, New Amsterdam, Georgetown, Beirut, Den Amstel, Madia, Afro-Guyanese communities. Afro-Guyanese communities. What have they done? What they could show people? What can they show people? No credibility. None whatsoever. We have another caller. Good morning.
Good morning. I like your program this morning, boss, with this road. You know, in Linden, we're doing 59 concrete roads.
Wow. Look at that.
59 concrete roads we're doing in Linden within the next 2 months.
You see that? You see that?
59, you find out from the civil structure, 59 concrete roads and more left to be done.
Man, and Linden is their stronghold.
Right. That's why I like you for that. You know what? I like what the president is doing. The president is involved in the Albaistom area, the Tiger Bay,
brother, Lane Avenue. Me even mention them areas.
Yeah, we all doing the self-help thing, man.
Right, the home improvement thing for the people at Lane Avenue. And that is after the fact, sir, where Public Works went and do over the road in Lane Avenue. The Minister calls you to sport, visit the range houses. He see the people step broken down. He go and build over the steps. You understand me? Why they couldn't have done that? Where was Aubrey Norton to do that for the people?
You see, when you don't know, you don't know. These people didn't know. They just did. They go into government, they didn't know what. They didn't know nothing. Listen, I said, all when they come, give the people the work. I said, yeah, keep it just like how the PPP had it. Because they didn't know what to do. And the people they sent to do the work, they know nothing to.
Right.
All when they study was to pull their damn pocket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thanks for coming through, Carlo. Right. So Guyanese aren't stupid. Guyanese aren't stupid. They cannot come to Guyanese anymore with this narrative of race and division, because Afro-Guyanese are seeing that they are benefiting. Indigenous Guyanese are seeing that they're benefiting. And I didn't even get to touch on the two-show conference properly like I wanted to today. But I will go to it because the president handled Mr. Chibral excellently yesterday. Excellently. You understand? Dennis Chibral running down the president or run down behind Aubrey Norton. What nonsense is that? What nonsense is that, Dennis? In opposition, when Dr. Jagju was opposition leader, every opportunity he had to meet with President Granger, he did. If he meet President Granger at a function, you think he's scruffy face and pull with his hand and turn with his face, he'll engage like an adult. Not like a little... Not... This why. I swear to y'all, Paul has just thrown me off of this live with the madness, you know. Paul is just throwing me off this live with his man. Paul, were you at the meeting? Were you at the meeting? They keep a meeting with you. When you see Aubrey Norton, if he comes to your area there, Paul, you ask him, why did the APNU AFC fast track, allegedly, as the lady put it, development in an Indo-Guyanese community instead of an Afro-Guyanese community, and more so Buxton. If persons remember, Buxton is an area that would walk from their area on the East Coast all the way to town to protest for the PNC. Persons in that area, not the whole area. Persons in that area. They would walk from Buxton along the East Coast to town to protest. What they did in Buxton, Paul? What they did in Buxton? Paul, highlight one project in Buxton that they did for that community. PNC, APNU, AFC, 2015 to 2020. One project, Paul. Paul, show me one squatting area that was predominantly dominated by Afro-Guyanese that the PNC, APNU, AFC regularized, Paul. Show me one area. The caller just mentioned the boulevard. And I because it's so popular, I don't like to mention. Oh my God. Look at this nonsense, folks. Look at this nonsense. Look at this nonsense that Paul coming with. Paul, I just mentioned New Amsterdam that they haven't been doing anything in. All the concrete roads in New Amsterdam were done by the PVPC candidates and activists in those areas. I'm talking about Linden that doesn't have a proper landfill site, Paul. The burial ground is in an atrocious condition. The coalition didn't put a 4-lane bridge over the Demerara Mackenzie crossing there. The coalition didn't execute to fast track the building of the road from Linden to Lethem. In Georgetown, in Alboyston, because apparently you come on when I'm talking about Linden. So you in here when I'm mentioning all the other areas. In Georgetown, Alboyston, the caller just spoke about. Lane Avenue, South Georgetown, South Rumvelt, and those areas, drains, roads, all those things, Paul. So clearly Linden is not desalinization plant in Linden, right? Block 22 in Linden, Amelia's Ward in Linden, the Linden Hospital Complex, Paul, because apparently, according to you, nothing happens in Linden. The new 4-lane crossing connecting Mackenzie and Wismar, the new road going all the way to Lethem that has already started, the expansion of the Amelia's Ward housing scheme, the young professional homes in Amelia's Ward that were constructed and already handed out to young professionals in Linden, the reopening of the call center that was closed down by the coalition government, part-time jobs in Linden for Lindeners who can't find work, diversification of agriculture, hemp farming going to Linden. Anyway, we're moving on. So yesterday at the National Two-Show Conference, our president was engaged by the media. And but let me share it with you, then we can discuss after. So here's the clip.
Stops you from reaching out to the opposition leader directly and say, sir, let's talk.
Why is there something stop me? What stopped him from reaching out?
What stops you too?
I reached out. The man refused to shake my hand twice. What do you want me to do? Bow before him? He's God?
That's the only thing you can do in terms of...
The opposition leader is not God. The first thing you must know, the first thing you must do...
Neither of you is.
No, I'm not. That is why I reached out humbly trying to shake his hands, and he refused. I tried humbly, Chabral, to shake his hand, and he refused.
But that's the only mechanism.
Oh my God. If you can't shake the hands of a humble man, what else would you do? Furthermore, let me tell you something. Let me give you another example of reaching out and what reaching out constitutes.
Firstly, let me jump in right there. Before I let the president continue blazing Dennis Chabral for his Nonsense. Dennis Chibral, you don't know as a media person, the president and the opposition leader had some meeting scheduled. The opposition leader show up to the meeting. You know about the Dennis? It's Googleable information. Engagement said the opposition leader show up. I think for the one he show up, I see a photo like he's sleeping in the meeting. What more you want the president to do, Dennis? What more you want the president to do? The president reach out to greet you as a fellow Guyanese. You can't shake the hand of a Guyanese. What did President Irfan Ali do to Aubrey Norton to warrant such behavior? Right? If he's saying that the PVP is oppressing Afro-Guyanese and that is the reason, then he shouldn't engage with anybody in England. He shouldn't engage with anybody in the US based on what would have happened in the past. And that kind of oppression could never amount to, according to him, the oppression that is happening now. So what is Dennis Chibral trying to ask our president? What foolishness Dennis Chibral coming to our president with?
Stops you from reaching out to the opposition leader directly and says, "Sir, let's talk."
Why is there something stop me? What stopped him from reaching out?
What stops you two?
What stopped? I reached out. The man refused to shake my hand twice. What you want me to do? Bow before him? He's God?
That's the only thing you can do in terms of...
The opposition leader is not God. The first thing you must know, the first thing you must do...
Neither of you is.
No, I'm not. That is why I reached out humbly trying to shake his hands and he refused. I tried humbly, Chibral, to shake his hand and he refused.
But that's the only mechanism.
Oh my God. If you can't shake the hands of a humble man, what else would you do? Furthermore, let me tell you something. Let me give you another example of reaching out and what reaching out constitutes. I consult with you and you go to the court to stop the consultation. I consult with you and you go to the court to stop the consultation. Let me give you a third example. Give you a third example. Here's the third example. You're a follower of the Bible?
Yeah.
What's the first thing you have to do? Not confess your sins?
Yes.
All I'm asking him to do is confess his sins and his sins of trying to rig the elections. Oh, is that too difficult? Confess thy sins.
Oh, hey, I love this president, you know. It's not nothing hard. It's not nothing hard. It's not nothing hard. Confess your sins. Even if we come out to the Bible, people say you got to identify the problem before you figure out how you're moving forward. Oh, come on, man. Yeah, try to thief the elections. Dennis Chibral report on them elections as well. Oh. So the president tried to shake this man hand, he refused. The president tried to have consultations, he go to the court, he stopped it. The few that they had, he show up to some. He sleep through others. What more you want? Oh gosh. Oh, you want the president to cut off his hand and give it? Oh man, the president need both of his hands. He got 2 children to hold. And not, anyway. You understand? He got 2 children. The president can't cut off his hand and give him. What more you want the president to do? What more you want the president to do in these situations? He is trying his best to reach out. I feel MPs on the opposition side have a better relation with the president than the opposition leader. I don't know what's happening, Norton, problem. Probably somebody could tell us what is it or why he feels he doesn't need to engage with the president of the country. And then you can see MPs coming on programs. This person acting, there's no consultation, nonsense like that. Just like McDonald again, talking about hicking an appointment and that nonsense. Who holding up the appointment? Who holding up the appointment, Amanza? Corrector. But you see, all of them talking stupidness. See, you could call one and the same. One and the same. Anyway, to the people in Lethem, just letting you know, be careful. We got 5 worries running around that area. 5 worries running around Lethem. Y'all be careful. If y'all see them come and run, nothing with sense to tell you. You hear me? 5 worries in Lethem. 2 on the end, know about the money that missing, or heard about the money that missing in the blank checks in PNC there. The one in the yellow, the only giving jobs to friends and family. Said so herself. And calling the main population of this this area in Region 9, she calling them derogatory terms in relation to their race. The one in the middle, she ain't really got voice. She can't even go in Congress Place when she wants to. You understand? Can't go in Congress Place when she wants to. Unless Miss Joseph sanction it. And well, y'all know Miss Lewis. 5 worries running around Region 9. Y'all hear me? 5 worries running around Region 9. Y'all be careful. Y'all be careful. 5 worries. Nothing of substance to tell you. They can't even get people in Region 9 to represent them at the LG. What they coming to tell y'all? What they coming to tell y'all? That's what I want to know. That's what I'd like to know. What are they coming to say to you? Jeez. I didn't even get to deal with any of the content I had for y'all. Oh my goodness. Yesterday, the Vice President was at the National Tushaus Conference, and he shared with the Tushaus there that the government will vigorously fight any attempt to block their development. I'll probably go into some more details with this tomorrow as we're running out of time. Also at the NTC there, 6 Amerindian communities received their titles, their land titles in that at the conference there. And yesterday I had informed you the President and former Prime Minister Tony Blair were scheduled to meet yesterday. They did have that meeting, and wholly it was deemed successful. I try to present some information on that tomorrow for you. I have all that here, but we get caught up with a lot of the other stuff that's happening around the place, right? National Tushaus Conference continues today, and persons are I should say, leaders of indigenous communities will be out there repping their areas to ensure that development reaches them, and high-level government officials from ministers to permanent secretaries, heads of agencies, heads of the joint services, private sector, across the board are there at this conference. So Tushaus have access to everybody at one time. They can get a lot of information to take back to their community, find out about projects, grants, all that other stuff. They can find out. Everybody's there. And this shows government's commitment to engaging with Guyana's indigenous population and their commitment as well to bringing the hinterland and riverine areas on par with the development that's happening on the coastal areas of Guyana. Okay, so this is my last one here, and indeed counselor. And you press it. Oh, there. Oh, look. Anyway, this is my last thing I'm dealing with before I go. Paul, please go and say this to Aubrey Norton, right? He's the head of the home there at Congress Place. He needs to sit his children down and talk to them. But for some reason, Paul, people in that side feel that the head of the home don't have too much sense, so they want to hear what we got to say. So you need to take that into consideration as well, right? So I agree with this, Paul. It needs to be implemented in front of Sapphire Day, the place where all the push growing. Making joke when you got access to culture tractor to come and weed the place, culture youth and sport. You're making joke. Look, these people is trouble. Anyway, folks, thank you for joining the program this morning. It was really lovely having all of you here. Thank you for all the persons in the comments. Hopefully we could get somebody from the council tomorrow to come on the program to give us an update on the recently concluded statutory meeting. I think it was held yesterday, right? 𝒏𝒐𝒕𝒆, indeed, the word of the day. Oh, if you see Dennis Chabral anywhere on the road, guys, if you see Dennis Chabral anywhere on the road today, go up to him nicely and say, oh, right? Pam, I show the people your garden. So getting some more people to plant just like you, right? So guys, thank you guys for being on the program. It was really wonderful to be here with you guys. Again, if you have any suggestions on content for the program or how we can make the Livewire better and more enjoyable to you, please let us know. We love to hear from you. Special good morning to all the persons who tune in usually. Sally Jones, Vishnu Ramprasad, Pam Singh, Savitri Suku, morning to you. I haven't seen you here before. Former Mayor, now Councillor Patricia Chase Green, Lash PA, Randolph Mahadio, Rohan Ruplal. Morning to you all. You guys have a wonderful day. Paul, morning to you. We're still friends. We don't agree on everything, but we're still friends. Dale Henry, good morning to you. All the persons tuning in, thank you for your time. Neil Ramlukan, morning, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Man, Paul, he has tried to be the bigger man over and over. What more you want to do, Paul? Anyway, that's all the time we have. Remember, this Friday is going down at the tarmac there in Diamond. The Diamond Grove Care and Support Foundation and the Dream Team. That's my team, my people. Great team. Hard-working team. Asha, Andre, Akeem, Latoya, Angel, Eustace. Who I forgetting? Quincy. Whoever forgetting. Great team. We'll be teaming up. We're going to be at the Diamond Market Square, the place where the market is there in Diamond, and we'll be giving out some school supplies to the youths there. Commander of the 4B division and also the chairman of the NDC in the area will be there as well. Interacting, listening to the youths, finding out what's bothering them, how we could help, how we could impact. If you want to contribute to this activity, you can contact me on the number on the screen, 671-6228. Like I'm going to forget my number there. If you guys would like to contribute any book bags, pencils, rulers, books, anything to help these youths get back out to school, it'll be much appreciated. Remember, it's happening this Friday, the 1st of September. And right after that, we head into the National Park for the opening of the Heritage. Tomorrow, I'll give you some updates on some of the activities scheduled for Heritage 2023. So, again, take care, be safe, peace, love, one Guyana.
It's a beautiful